The lunchroom fell silent. Forks froze midair. Conversations stopped like someone hit pause. A chair screeched loudly across the floor, then tipped and crashed. All eyes turned. The new girl, tall, dark-skinned, her long locks tied back tight, stood up slowly. Her name was Ayanna Blake. Her lunch tray sat untouched in front of her, but her fists clenched around it like she was holding back a storm. 3 students stood over her, laughing just seconds ago. Now, their smiles faded. They looked unsure, scared even. Ayanna's eyes locked on them, steady and cold. She didn't look nervous. She looked ready. And in that moment, everyone in the cafeteria knew something was about to happen. No one moved. No one even breathed. How did things get here? Just a few hours ago, Ayanna had walked into Crestwood University for the first time, head high. Now there was blood on the floor, and it wasn't hers. That morning, Ayanna Blake walked through the front gates of Crestwood University like she didn't hear a thing. Her back was straight, chin up, eyes forward. But she heard them. The whispers. The giggles. The comments they thought she wouldn't catch. Who's that? She doesn't belong here. Probably some transfer from nowhere. Ayanna didn't flinch. She kept walking, backpack tight on her shoulders, pretending not to notice. This was her fresh start. A new school. A new chance. She wasn't here to make noise. She wasn't here to fight. She just wanted to graduate and move on. But as she stepped into the halls of Crestwood, one thing became very clear: some people weren't going to make that easy. Ayanna Blake wasn't just any new girl. She grew up moving from place to place. Her dad was in the military, so home was never one spot for long. But one thing stayed the same. Ayanna trained in Muay Thai since she was 12. While other kids played video games, she was learning how to block, strike, and defend. Not to hurt people, but to protect herself. Fighting was the only language she ever needed until now. Ayanna didn't come to Crestwood to fight. She came to get away from all of that. To finally have a quiet life. To finish school without problems. But deep down, she knew trouble always had a way of finding her. And if it did this time, she just hoped she could stay calm enough to walk away. It didn't take long for things to start. At first, it was small stuff. Someone accidentally bumped into Ayanna in the hallway, hard enough to make her drop her books. Her notebook went missing from her desk. Then her locker got slammed shut just as she reached for it. She tried to brush it off. Maybe it was just bad luck. But deep down, she knew better. The whispers followed her everywhere. Some kids snickered when she passed by. Then one morning, there was a message scratched into her desk: "Go back where you came from." Ayanna stared at the words, her jaw tightening. She thought about telling someone. But what would they even do? She'd seen it before: no one listens until it's too late. And now, she could feel the storm building again. His name was Jason Cole, big, popular, and the school's star athlete. Everyone treated him like he could do no wrong. And he knew it. One afternoon, Ayanna was heading to her next class when Jason and his crew stopped right in front of her. They stood close, blocking her way like a wall. Jason leaned in with a smirk. "You don't belong here," he said. Ayanna didn't say a word. She stepped to the side, trying to walk past. But then shove. One of his friends pushed her from behind. Ayanna stumbled but caught herself before falling. Her hands curled into fists, but she stayed calm. She remembered the rule her dad always taught her: never throw the first punch. But if someone else does, make sure it's the last. It happened during lunch. Ayanna was sitting by herself, trying to eat in peace. That's when Jason's girlfriend walked by with a cup of hot coffee. She accidentally spilled it all over Ayanna's arm. The burning pain was instant, but the laughter that followed hurt worse. Ayanna looked down at her red, scalded skin. Her tray slid off the table and hit the ground with a loud crash. The whole cafeteria went quiet. Ayanna stood up slowly, her fists clenched tight. Jason was watching from across the room, smiling like he'd already won. Security was on the way. Phones were recording. Ayanna's heart pounded. She had two choices: take it and stay quiet, or fight back and risk it all. But some lines can't be crossed. Amina's mind raced as she felt the heat from her arms still burning. The cafeteria was buzzing, people whispering, phones up. Jason's smirk only grew wider. He knew he had her trapped. If she fought back, she'd probably get kicked out of school. If she did nothing, she'd be a joke. Amina's breath shook. She could hear her dad's voice in her head. They'll never respect you until they fear you. But that came with a price. If she let this slide, they'd just keep pushing. She wouldn't be able to walk away without letting them win. The moment felt like it lasted forever. Then, without thinking, Ayanna took a deep breath and stepped forward. It was time to make a choice, and she wasn't going down without a fight. In a flash, Ayanna moved. She wasn't just fighting to defend herself, she was fighting for respect. Her elbows hit Jason's friends. Her knees slammed into their stomachs. Her strikes were sharp, quick, and precise. Jason swung at her, but she ducked under it and swept his legs out from under him. He hit the ground with a loud thud. His friends rushed at her, but Ayanna was faster. She hit one in the nose. The crack echoed through the cafeteria. Another one went down with a punch to the chest. When it was over, the room was still. Jason's crew was groaning on the floor. Ayanna stood tall, bruised but unbroken. The cafeteria was silent, except for the applause from a few brave students. Ayanna stood there, her chest heaving, her knuckles sore. The cafeteria was quiet, and everyone was staring. It wasn't just the fight, they were looking at her in awe. Jason Cole, the untouchable star athlete, was on the floor, groaning with his friends. The silence was thick, but it didn't last long. A few people started clapping, then more joined in. Ayanna walked out of the cafeteria, feeling a weight lift off her shoulders. She wasn't just the new girl anymore. She was someone people respected. Later, word spread. Everyone knew who she was now, the girl who took down Jason Cole. The whispers? They were different this time. They were whispers of respect, not ridicule.